всем, кто смотрит сейчас наш эфир.
Hello once again. Thanks for watching us.
Вопросов, связанных с применением средств искусственного
We will dedicate to AI, machine learning in information security. And definitely we'll begin by introducing our guests.
о себе.
Tell us please about yourself and your experience. Hello everybody, I'm Semay Fartyo from Artem Group. We provide consulting business. My direction is testing, pen testing. And today I would like to speak about application of artificial intelligence in our area.
Всем привет, меня зовут Саша.
Hello everybody, my name is Sasha and I work in positive technologies and I'm responsible for promising technologies, and my objective is to transfer the expertise of our workers into products. And another direction is a research of security of systems which contain methods of machine learning and artificial intelligence in general. Thank you.
Да, всем привет. Меня зовут Юрий
Hello,
Легина.
everybody.
Я работаю
My name is Yuri Ligina. I work in positive technologies.
в банковских системах,
I'm the specialist in banking system security.
зрителей тоже.
Glad to see all the colleagues and viewers.
Спасибо. Ну и начнем, собственно, с самого простого.
Okay, let's begin with the simplest question. You yourself, which tools do you use
В своей работе основанной
in your work based on artificial intelligence?
Мы стараемся прибегать к использованию
We try to
прежде всего
attract different things for the analysis
возможных векторов
of
атаки,
possible attack vectors, vulnerability analysis.
опять же, сканеров,
There's a lot of scanners today
в себе, скажем так, email.
which have ML inside of them. We use tools for testing,
К примеру,
for realization of threat vectors like deep exploit.
и, конечно, мы
And
планируем как бы
we are planning to develop in this direction, develop our own tools.
выпускать что-то и
As a company, we want to produce some, develop some products. We hope to provide positive effect in applying ML tools for the systems for pen testing.
за пределами немножко даже безопасности.
And outside of the security, just for the testing, you will use them, or maybe for some other objectives. Testing.
Спасибо.
Okay, thank you.
Ну, возможности больших языковых моделей действительно
Possibility of big language models, they are very big. Semantic models, especially speaking about ChatGPT, which started working in the end of last year. It is very nice to use this service because there's a technology.
использовала по-разному.
Everybody used technology differently in different objectives. And well, this service became available just now.
Честно, я
And honestly, I formulate texts when I want to write some letter, non-complicated.
какую-то формулировку.
And for a technical person, it's very interesting to formulate, make some names of contests, names of our competition was invented and proposed by ChatGPT.
Специалист, конечно,
As a technical specialist,
это
well,
очень удобно.
compiler from the point of view of digging, well, it's interesting to use broadcasting,
Когда у тебя
code broadcasting, when you have an example of the code in one language, but you would like to solve the same problem, and you can ask
ту же задачу решить на другом языке
and solve the same objective on the other language, and it helps you a lot.
SQL.
The optimization, SQL, other requests, when you have to work with big data samples, you have to effectively work with them,
Базам данных и
getting connected to different databases.
да, что такие сервисы
And I would like to tell you that these services, they do help, and sometimes, not always, but very often,
лучшие решения в написании.
they provide better solutions in development of some more optimized requests because you need it.
А вот
That's it.
про запросы довольно интересно прозвучало.
Well, it's very interesting about needs, about the demands. Do you optimize the demands or you get the results? Both.
Скинуть запрос и попросить
You can ask them to give you the demand and ask them to optimize it, or you can write an instruction
ClickHouse, там
like I use ClickHouse. These columns
Пиши мне запрос, да.
can you write me a request which will do this and this? Call request.
У меня на самом деле один инструмент, это
Honestly, I have one tool, ChatGPT,
инструмент,
and speaking about other tools on the basis of ML, you have to check them. Haven't they been built on the basis of ChatGPT? Because right now,
они предоставляют
API, which they provide,
всякие плагины.
there's a lot of tools and plugins for Groupon and for all of them, and they all are on the basis of ChatGPT. Products like that and tools like that, which
Разработка таких
are of own development,
не видел.
I didn't see any of those.
И ChatGPT можно сравнить
And ChatGPT can be compared with a big, everlasting box of tools from which you can pull new and new tools, and this helps a lot. This helps a lot.
Еще во время работы я теперь
During my work, I stopped writing code manually.
она свелась
And right now, the whole objective of writing the code came to the situation to properly formulate my thought. And from this point of view, ChatGPT helps me a lot.
мой такой вот основной инструмент.
That's my main tool.
Такой спонтанно
Thank you very much. Then I have a spontaneous question while I've been listening to you.
игрались с
Yes, I understand. We've also been playing with ChatGPT when it just came out.
разработки статического.
We are the team of statistical analyzer of our team developers.
Интересно, за
And we have found very interesting
плохо пишет код,
law. It does write code pretty well and in a non-standard way,
плохо читает, как
but it doesn't read it pretty well, especially when the code receives complicated semantics, when you have to understand the meaning of the code, what it does. So to your point of view, is it a problem of, is it a temporary problem of lack of education, or maybe it's a question of time, or maybe it's a primitive limitation of the technology?
Я могу попробовать ответить.
I will try to give you the answer to that. From the technical point of view,
Именно ChatGPT, он
ChatGPT
на примерах кода
was taught on examples of the code, but it was not its specialization. OpenAI, in their research, they are showing distribution
текстов, на которых они
of texts on which they've been teaching, and the code was very small part of those teaching texts, learning texts. So I would like to say that it was not taught to solve the specialized objectives, but
технологии и способности
thanks to the technology and ability to communication, it does it pretty well. And there's a new version that was recently published. If
ChatGPT
you will play with ChatGPT based on GPT 3.5, right now you can play with GPT 4.0. It's a paid version, so not everybody have tried it, but it's much better. Also, the distribution,
изучали, оно тоже не в пользу кода.
which texts have been used to study it, but basically speaking,
Страшно,
this is also not that bad, because there are companies and open source solutions which are specializing, and they work with the code and they do it much better just because of their focus and specialization. So a few more steps and everything's going to be wonderful. Thank you.
тут возникает сразу закономерно
And we see a
технология
lawful question, because the technology of
наша профессия.
artificial intelligence gets into our professional activity in code writing. Does it provide risks or other things?
Что вы на этот счет считаете? Как думаете?
So, how would you answer to this question?
Речь сейчас шла о том, как обеспечивать безопасность при передаче
Well,
искусственного интеллекта, верно?
we've been speaking about how to provide security while working with artificial intelligence.
И,
Well,
смотрите, наверное,
let's see.
вопрос
I'll give you the answer to the first question.
полностью мы не можем сократить риск.
We cannot reduce all the risks, we have to accept it.
Опять же, вариант. Александра привела
There are options. Alexandra made an example of using ChatGPT.
данных,
Therefore, when data is transferred to ChatGPT, what can we do? We can
обезличивать вообще
anonymize different data
специальную информацию, чтобы не передать,
with availability of some confidential information,
к примеру, или другая компания
OpenAI, or maybe some other company which produces big semantic models wouldn't be able to produce teaching on the basis of this
давать
and create
угрозу отчасти для
threat
компании, да,
for our company
конфиденциальной информации.
where we have confidential information. So
Работе, наверное, с
while working with ChatGPT,
скажем так,
we
того, что
should be aware
Модель из-за того, что она
because of the semantic model, because it's not completely trained, it always has certain risks of giving you improper information, and unfortunately, we can rely only on the expert level.
проверить или
In this case, in order to check or to turn over certain facts. For example, yesterday,
был у меня на докладе пример, когда мы могли
I had an example during presentation when we could use
и
GPT as SaaS solution,
было
but the problem was that
исследование,
we have conducted a lot of additional research from this point of view, and we have looked at
может ли GPT генерировать
whether there's a possibility to generate safe code. 20 examples, 5 out of them were examples which were positive, so GPT have generated without any assisting
были
help, but other 15 were improper, vulnerable. Of course, the solution is following to create more narrowly specialized solutions.
момент дополню, что
And another thing that I would like to add here
даже сейчас есть
is that even right now, there are solutions.
от Google
BART is compared to ChatGPT, which is more context related, and it tries to give more precise answers to a narrowly specialized questions rather than ChatGPT does it.
можно
That's why you can,
эксперта рядом
well, if there's no expert, you can try
попробовать поработать с BART,
you
получить
can try to work with BART and get a proper answer.
для того, чтобы языковая модель, допустим,
But for the semantic model to receive positive answer, you have to properly specify all your questions to the system.
Ну, здесь интересный вопрос, на самом деле, потому что есть технологии,
It's an interesting question.
которые
There is a technology, there are services, which on the basis of this technology are being produced. And services, generally speaking,
как и любой софт,
like any other software, like any other web service
все что угодно, они, наверное,
or everything else,
могут оцениваться
they can be evaluated in a standard key
со стандартными рисками
with standard risks.
безопасности, быть стандартными, но, в общем,
Whether, well, can security risks be a standard ones? Well, everybody knows that. But there is a technology which was learning on certain data,
особенно.
machine learned, and that's where peculiarities are coming, on which data it was learning.
Модель давать такие результаты
Can this model give those results with some semantic shifts,
или наоборот.
like poetic or fake-like, or maybe
Сейчас не про конкретный сервис,
we are not speaking about a specific request, because language models as technologies, there's a lot of them due to the fact that there are not only services but also open source. So we have to think
какие файлы ты внутрь
which files you download. There's a lot of research.
популярны.
And recently it is popular. Can we hide malware somewhere in the neural networks? And yes, it is possible. And there were a lot of things like that.
Какие-то ML-технологии, они
Some ML technologies, they have some additional landscape of threats, about which you have to think. But
в целом, кажется,
generally speaking,
безопасность обеспечить, если как
real security can be provided, especially if you will think about this model of threat for some specific industry, services, applications,
и, использовать
and use some additional security measures which will give you a possibility to use these new technologies.
Но, к сожалению, достаточно.
Yuri, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time left, but nevertheless, what will you say about that?
Я бы сказал по поводу исходного кода.
I
Вот
would tell you about the source code.
GPT 3.5 появилась, и
When ChatGPT 3.5
у меня это
was produced, I decided to write some code, and it was surprising me how it writes it. But then
GPT 4
the GPT 4.0 came up, which became even smarter, and therefore
то, что
I think that the problem that code
ну, может быть, не так хорошо пишется, это
is not written that good. It's a problem that can be solved.
в последнем апдейте
And in a recent update,
кнопку
you don't have to press the button continue.
просто нажатие на
You just can press the button and it will
очень хорошо.
write this code with a good quality.
Спасибо большое. Да, друзья.
Thank you very much. Okay, guys, thank you very much for participation. Unfortunately, our time is up. But in 1 year from now, ChatGPT or maybe some other technology most likely will participate in this discussion itself. So thank you very much to all of you.